So I've been drawing different portraits like Leonardo da Vinci. And so I found this one where he had drawn a study for which he would later, of a man's face. It's a study of a man's face looking down. And I think he turns this one into a figure for the Last Supper, which is Jesus. So I thought, well, I'll try to draw it. And right here you can see I'm using my left hand to kind of go around and see where I need to put the different shapes. Now, I really struggled on this one. This one took me some time, so I'm going to speed up my drawing here in a bit. But right now I'm kind of just showing you how I try to figure out where to put the basic lines. Okay, see how I'm putting in the lines for the eyes and the nose, and I really struggle with the nose because he actually makes that nose look like it's coming out from the face, and the lips, and I've learned so much from drawing like Leonardo da Vinci. In fact, the eyes, I put in circles now because I think what he does is he actually puts the eyeball in before he puts the eyelids on. So usually when I draw eyes, I draw it like I'm drawing an eye, but just the outside part. But what he does is it's like he draws the eyeball in the eye and then covers it with skin. So that's much easier than to put the eyes if you want them looking down. In fact, it's really hard if you don't do it that way. So I found that's the easiest thing to do. Now, when I'm drawing these faces, usually I start with the eye that's closest to you, and now I've gone down to the nose. Okay, so I'm not even worried about the hair. Now, I really struggled with the hair on this, and the part of the problem is this study, it's not a very good picture from what's left of it after all these hundreds and hundreds of years. So what you have is this study that he did that he later turned into Jesus, the figure of Jesus in the Last Supper. But what he had, what we have now from this study is it's very rough looking. Well, I was able to find some copies of the study that other people had done, and actually they helped me a lot. So I used them some too. So this is like his, it's like theirs, and then ultimately it's my own version of his study, and I really struggle through this. And so to make it easier to watch, I've shortened it down. Now what this is for right now, and when he did this is just a study of a man looking down, which he later turns into the famous painting, The Last Supper. But for now, it's just this study. And he does change this study to make it more look like the biblical figure that he wants it to look like in The Last Supper. But for me drawing it, I'm just showing you the process. So look, I've got my lines. I put in where I'm putting in the basics. I'm not really worrying about the hair at all. I don't think there's any way I can tell you where to put a line at. Like I say, it's kind of like riding a bike. You just have to struggle through this. Now I'm kind of like checking to see how wide the face is on one side. I don't think I get it right. In fact, when I'm drawing this, I had that eye, the one that's closest to us, it's too far over. It's too close to the nose. So I actually even had to move it way into the drawing just to get it to look better. So I learned a lot in this one. Each one of these I do, it's like a learning experience. And that's what I want to get across to my students is you got to challenge yourself. And I am challenging myself by drawing these. And whether they draw this picture or another figure of a person looking down, another drawing of a person looking down, or from a photo, that's fine. But I wanted to draw mine after the way Leonardo da Vinci did in his style, because I have so much to learn. And each one of these that I've done so far, I'm thinking, well, I've learned a lot, but see, that eye is way too close to that nose on the left side, and I am going to have to fix it. I see, and the face on the left side is not wide enough. See, when I'm finished with the drawing, I still can see things I couldn't see when I was drawing. It's like I'm blind to the things that are wrong with it, and I just keep going down this path. And maybe that's what I need to fix with that. If I did another drawing, this is probably my 6th or 7th one of these. And the one I did yesterday, I just said, that's horrible. And I had to start all over again. And that's not a bad thing. But I really worked that drawing all the way through. I spent some time on it and then finally decided it was just not very good. Now, when he does mouths, he doesn't so much do a contour of the mouth as he does like where the mouth is protruding. And I don't know how to explain it. But I think if you study the way he draws mouths and noses, you'll get a really good understanding for the way he draws them. And there's really nothing I can explain in it. It's like, okay, it's like sculpture on paper. And by me putting in the values, I think that helps me a lot. Because I like to just smudge. I like to just take my finger and just smudge. And I get a nice mid-tone. Okay? And that mid-tone is what I use to help me to bring out the drawing. You know, because then I can just use the eraser. So here I'm going, I now put this into faster motion. You can see me shading, and I'm using my left finger to help me with where things go. And you know, it's not terrible, but it's going to have some other things done to it to make it better. Now I have to use the hair. I have to use the hair from several other pictures. I don't think they're all that great. I mean, they changed it too. So, and these are other artists that made their own interpretations of this study. Or the one, and I think maybe like this one, I think it's from the actual Last Supper. So it's not from the study. And you can see there the hair is long and curly. So I use some of that to go by for the hair, because in the one I'm using, it just does not have, you can barely see where the hair goes to. So I kind of go off from what that one wanted. But I'm trying to stay with the face itself. I'm just throwing in where the hair goes. And basically that's what you do. You just have, it's like I said, it's a journey. You start in one, like I have said, you start in one place and you end up somewhere else, and hopefully you get it to look right. And if not, you go back and you do it again. But you have to work the drawing all the way through. Or if it's really bad, you'll just start over again. But I really enjoy doing these. I think I'm pretty bad at it, but I'm still working to try to get better. Each one I do, I learn a lot. I'm trying to get it to where it looks more and more like his style of drawing. Now I'm just working with a number 2 pencil and regular copy paper, because that's a lot of what my students have. And it's really just not any good for this kind of thing, because it looks so shiny. Graphite pencil does on here. But it's like I tell my students, if you can do this with a graphite pencil, just a regular pencil, just think what you can do with better paper and better pencils. So yeah, you're kind of limiting your palette of what you're using, but you'll be able to do even better when you use even better media. These are good for practice. So I'm looking at that one, I'm thinking, oh, here's an enlarged one. It's the details are still yet not even there in this one. And I will struggle with that nose. You have the face too wide on one side, not wide enough on the other. But this one, I think the larger one has, and then I found another one somebody did, that one right there, where they didn't even do they didn't do the hair, but they did the facial features, and so that helps me some. Now, part of this video, I just turn it off and I just start working on it, but I think I'm giving you an idea of the fact that I'm putting in a lot of effort on it. And when you watch me doing this, now I'm using my finger to kind of help me to put in where I need to put in different parts of the shading at. I'm checking and checking to see if I've got all the parts in where they need to be. And that really helps me a lot. I don't know if it'll help you. You can try it. The nose is still off, even though when I end this, I'm like, and the nose, you want to, it's hard to do, but you want to, it's something where you want to make it look like it's coming out from the page. So I think toward the end, I got more toward that. I even worked on the eyes a little bit better, and the hair gets darker. So if you just watch along with me, you can see where I'm putting in all these parts. I would put music to this, but I think it's helpful for you to hear my thought process on it, because this was a real struggle. I'm going to erase that eye. I may not even show me erasing that eye, because I believe it was when I was off camera. I looked at it and I said, that eye is too far over toward the nose on the left, just a little bit too much, so I have to move it just a bit, just a bit. And so I think it gets better. Right now it still bothers me. I don't think it's quite right. I want to try to get it to look as close as I can to the original, and I'm going to work on that here. You're going to see where I changed it over in just a few seconds to where I worked on it for some time, and then I just kind of show it on the camera. So see, here's where I worked on it after many, well, I think I probably spent 2 hours on it, and I just really paid really close attention to where all the different parts were, and I think it's paid off. This is, it's come a long way, and the nose does look like it stands out from the face. But I had to just look at it and move it around and hold it up, and that's what you do. You have to just look at your work, stop working, and just look at your work and see what you did wrong or right. Leonardo da Vinci once said that. Somebody was asking him why he wasn't painting for a whole day, and he said, well, I'm doing a lot of work right now. I'm doing the most work a man can do. It just seems like I'm doing nothing at all, because I'm actually fixing my own work. Now that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just looking to see what I need to do to make this look better. Just little fixes here and there. And I think it does look better. Does it look just like his? No. Mine's still clunky. But I think it's better than it was.